Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Black History Month. This is a 2016 movie from Warner Brothers. It's an action adventure movie directed by David Yates. Yes, the guy that did all the Harry Potters after Goblet of Fire. He did Order of the Phoenix to Deathly Hallows, and he recently did the Fantastic Beasts films. So this is one of his lesser attempts because it's a completely different movie, and that is the Legend of Tarzan. Yeah, I didn't see this movie in theaters because it just didn't interest me. I saw Margot Robbie in the trailer and I was like, pass. But they did kind of a twist on this because it's a darker version of the story, like the Disney version, where in this version Tarzan has a British accent and Jane doesn't. So it's a little bit a role reversal, if you ask me. The black people in this movie are Samuel Jackson, who is in everything and he's really good. He's not like freaking Bruce Willis now, where he doesn't do it. You have Djimon Hounsou, who's also in the film. He's one of the tribe people of the Congo. And and the film it takes place. It starts in England, which I didn't care for, but it doesn't. They don't stay there long. The story follows John Clayton Tarzan, who after moving to London is convinced by George Washington Williams to return to his former home in the jungles of Africa to investigate claims of slavery. Yeah, it's a lot different than the Disney version and the Johnny Weissmuller films. There were some good things in this movie. It's really well shot. I like David Yates' look of his films. They look like they have a budget. It's a $180 million budget, so it's a good-looking film. Some of the CG is hit and miss. I think the gorillas look fine. And also the stampeding wildebeest at the end of the film. The elephants look cute. The hippopotamus, it kind of looks a little Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, but it's not terrible. This is a better movie than Jungle Cruise. I'm going to get to that, but I'll see it later this week. The acting is fine for most of the thing. I think Alexander Skarsgård's accent is iffy. It sounds like he's a Swede pretending to do a British accent. It sounds a little off to me. There's a reason Tarzan never has a British accent in these movies. Margot Robbie, she's more tolerable here than in Suicide Squad, both of them, or Birds of Prey, but I'm still not in love with her. She's nice looking in the film. She's shot really well. She's very pretty dresses that she wears, but that's it, though. Buying her as an African, I so don't buy that. She ain't no Charlize Theron. She's actually from South Africa. Margot's from Australia, not the same region. Djimon Hounsou is always intense in the movie. Jim Broadbent, I forgot who he was. The one actor that was just typecasted for this movie that was miscast is Christoph Waltz. Why does this actor have to play a Brit? He has to play not a Brit. He plays a villain in almost everything he's in. Epic, Spectre, No Time to Die, where he's briefly the villain. For like the first half of that movie. He's the villain in freaking Green Hornet. He's the villain in what else? In Inglourious Basterds. The guy does a villain in everything. Why? It's not necessary, guys. You don't need him to be the villain in every movie. He talks like this, like I talk like this. I'm like, he's not the villain. You don't have to make him a villain. He's not Tim Curry. He only didn't play a villain in Django Unchained. He was an anti-hero, if you will. But in every other movie, he's a villain, and I'm getting tired of it. It's like Ben Mendelsohn. He just overacts when he's a villain. And the movie is a little bit too long. It's not Harry Potter long, no offense, but this movie's only an hour and 50 minutes. I think the beginning of the movie could have been trimmed down. It's just a lot of slow exposition, and we have a lot of flashbacks of when Tarzan's a kid. I already saw that in the Disney version, and it's just slow in the beginning. It doesn't pick up until they get to the jungles, where he's swinging, and you show the apes pummeling people. But this is not a kid's movie, so don't let your kids watch this. It's PG-13. It's a strong PG-13. Tarzan gets his skin ripped off of him half the time. It's pretty violent for a PG-13. The movie grossed $356 million worldwide, so it kind of made a profit, but not. It didn't make Harry Potter money or Fantastic Beasts or the DCEU. But it's not the worst movie of that year. It got mixed reaction. Yeah, it's not for everyone. This movie's going to either it's going to entertain you or it's going to bore you to death. I was in the middle. I was entertained in some parts with the gorilla freaking clove-lining Tarzan in the trailer. That's still hilarious. I did like some of the effects and some of the action, but it's a little bit long. You could have trimmed it down. And I was not buying Jane getting herself loose from the freaking boat by herself without a man's help. That just felt a little Mary Sue territory. Just for that one scene. Yeah, it had to, it didn't break even, but it made some money. It said it had to break it. It would have had to make 400 million to break even and justify a sequel. It was bad timing. It came out in 2016, one of the worst summers of the theater's history before COVID, and since until 2020. And there were a lot of sequels and movies that were WB movies that were tentpole films. This one just kind of got lost in the shuffle. So no, it lost money. It didn't make money. Although the studio itself asserted the film broke even, yeah, from DVD and Blu-ray sales. So mainly because of that. It went up against the BFG, which also flopped, and the Purge election year, which was okay. It wasn't terrible. I've seen worse. I think the first Purge is way worse. The original Purge. It didn't make a lot of money, but like I said, we didn't need like an updated Tarzan movie. This could have been a Netflix film, like that Jungle Book movie or whatever. But it's not as bad as the Disney remakes. It's not 2.5 hours. It's not doing the same freaking thing. It's not making it serious just to make it serious like Mulan. And Dumbo was all right. I didn't hate Dumbo, or like even the freaking The Lion King, where they sucked all the passion out of it. This movie at least is passable, just like the Suicide Squad was for me. But if I would recommend seeing a Tarzan movie, see the Johnny Weissmuller movies, see the Disney version, see the '90s films. At least those have more color. This film is nicely shot, but sometimes it like gets too serious, and I'm like, it's trying to be like those Planet of the Apes movies that came out a few years ago, with that Matt Reeves did. But those I wasn't a fan of because the CG just looked fake to me. Here it doesn't look that bad. It looks all right. But is it entertaining? Yeah, there's some parts that are entertaining. It's not the worst movie of 2016. Trust me, I have seen way worse from that year. And it's a movie that is worth your time. If you can stream it, it's available on streaming. And it's on cable if you want to watch it. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep this short. Take care. And I will see you guys in the next review.